Welcome back to the Sea Champagne Radio Show. Welcome back, I Love Music Army. Welcome new viewers to the channels. Hi, what's going on? Who fans, Zak Starkey fans, and everybody that's been keeping up with this Who drama. My goodness. I've done so many Who videos lately. I am just enthralled with what you guys may have to say in the comment section, where I read every single comment. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, we invite you to join us, our internet musical global family of friends that I affectionately call the I Love Music Army. You love music and entertainment? Well, we've got something for you today with this Who drama. And it's so much drama that I have to say this. Last time, as you recall, on Who is Who, Zak Starkey was fired from The Who. And now Roger Daltrey has the audacity to say Zak Starkey gave him a character assassination. And I'm going, really? You got to be kidding here. I mean, this is a little bit of a joke to me. And for those people that don't know it, let's just go through it real fast. It'll take 10, 15 seconds. The Who fired Zak Starkey, at least Daltrey did, saying he overplayed. A lot of people in the video I made said it was the sound guy's fault. They didn't see anything that Zak did. Then they come back and say, no, we didn't fire him. It was a big miscommunication. Then Pete Townshend comes back and says, nope, Zak is done, and I better watch what I'm doing or Roger's going to fire me, which was kind of a joke, assuming that Roger's become a crotchety old man. Zak Starkey loves The Who. He said nothing but praise for him. But in a recent interview, and that's just a half of it. I mean, we could go on, but that's just a half of it. Let's just say in a recent interview, Roger Daltrey said this. I want to read this for you. On the Royal Albert Hall story, the sound is controlled by a guy on the side, and we had so much sub bass on the sound of the drums that I couldn't pitch. I was pointing to the bass drum and screaming at Starkey because it was like flying a plane without seeing the horizon. So when Zak thought I was having a go at him, I wasn't. That's all that happened. But wait, there's more. He went on to say what Zak had to say was character assassination and incredibly upsetting. He also said, Pete and I retain the right to be The Who. Everyone else is just a session player. Really? Zak Starkey, your drummer for 20-something years, 25, 20, 30 years, just a session player? Really? That's what he gets for 30 years or 25 years of service? To be called a session player? Well, let me tell you something, Roger Daltrey. You better be thanking your lucky stars. You got a guy on your left whose name is Pete Townshend, who wrote all of these songs that you sang, okay? Because I don't recall, you doing anything spectacular on your own. Now, that's character assassination, what I'm saying about Roger Daltrey. Because let me see, with The Who, Daltrey, successful. When Pete Townshend isn't at his side, let's see how many of them number one records did he have by himself versus Pete Townshend when he put out a solo record. How well did that do? Well, he should be counting his lucky stars that Pete's even tolerating him, and to have the gall to call Zak Starkey a session player, and he assassinated his character. Now, to go on even further, I'm going to say this. What exactly did Zak Starkey say to assassinate your character? You ask him to lie and say you quit. He wouldn't do that. What negative comment did Zak Starkey say against you? When you should have did something with the sound guy, because half of the people in the very first video I made, when you fired Zak Starkey, said it was the sound guy's fault. Why are you pointing at the bass drum and screaming at Zak? Why aren't you pointing at the bass drum and looking at the sound guy going, hey, come on, I can't, I don't know. But I do know that I would love to hear what you have to say about this latest Who drama, where I read every single comment And I just can't wait to see, have you had enough of The Who? Will they make it through the North American tour? Does anybody care? And you know what? Let me point this out real fast. It's kind of like Daltrey and Townshend's kind of like Simon and Garfunkel. I don't, what did Art Garfunkel do when Paul Simon wasn't by his side? And you're going to call everybody a session player. You know, I think if Pete Townshend wanted to, somewhere in the mid to late 80s or the 90s, if Pete Townshend wanted to, he could have fired you and probably got another singer, and the band would have continued. I don't know. Maybe I'm just mad. Maybe I'm just upset of him calling out Zak Starkey like this, because I don't think Zak deserves it. I think Roger's lost his mind, and I think The Who is not going to make it through the last leg of this tour. That's what I think. From the Steve Champagne Radio Show, love to know what you think. Join us. We'd be happy to have you. In the meantime, keep the music playing and the good times rolling. We'll see you next time from the Steve Champagne Radio Show.